A 1, 2, 3, 4.
T to G to I to F to
T to G to
F.
I to
Thank God
F
it's
to F.
first.
Thank God it's first.
Thank God it's first.
Thank God it's first.
Oh, T to G to I to F to F.
T to G to I to
Thank God
F
it's
to F. Thank God it's first.
Thank God it's
First Friday.
Hello, everybody. My name is Deacon Luke Rowicki.
And I'm Brother Andrew Torrey.
And this is the Advent December 2021 podcast episode coming to you live from Mexico and
Rome.
So we're making this work. We have some technical microphonic difficulties, but now we're rocking. And we are rocking because this is a very special episode. This episode is all about unwrapping happy holidays. Like, what does that even mean when I see a happy holidays? Is that all it is? Is it just a break from work, from school? Is it just about putting up Christmas lights 2 months early? Like, what is this all about? Brother Andrew, get us started.
I hate the term happy holidays. It's awful. It doesn't mean anything. It's just terrible. Like, what do you mean? Like, what's a holiday? Okay, so you have time off, great, just enjoy your rest. Okay, well that's a good thing. I mean, taking time off from school, work, other people, different faiths. Yeah, we know people are celebrating, not everybody celebrates Christmas, not everybody's Christian, okay? And so you have people who are, I don't know, Baha'i or Jewish or whatever. I mean, plurality, we get it. But happy holidays, like, what do you mean? Like, why are you wishing somebody to be happy? Like, what's the reason for your joy? Like, why?
And for a Jewish person, it'd be Happy Hanukkah. And for each religion, they're going to have their moments, their vacations. What the problem is that it's, there's this tradition of having, I guess in Christian countries, you have this break for Christmas. And little by little, people continue with the break and they forget about the Christmas. And so I heard a pretty interesting example just yesterday in a homily. So Father Guillermo Meade, for all of those who know him, he was formerly rector in Rome. He was my rector in Rome. I think he was Brother Andrew's rector in Rome. And now he's here in Monterey. And he said, okay, he was talking to the kids and he said, all right, so kids, Christmas, what the world has done to Christmas is that they give you a big, shiny treasure chest. And it's fantastic. It's full of gold and diamonds and ribbons. And it's beautiful to behold. You get so excited when you see this amazing box because, the box is so awesome. Like, what's going to be inside? You open it up and it's empty. And it hit me because I feel like I understood exactly what he was trying to say with that image. And it's sort of true. Like, you get so pumped up. Why put so much work into either you putting up lights or you pay someone to put up the lights a month and a half ahead of time? All your advertisements, if you're like running a store or a business, are like, Christmas themed. So you put a lot of time, effort into your Christmas campaigning and all these things just to get to the 25th and open up an empty box that says Happy Holidays on like this little crumpled up piece of paper sitting at the bottom corner and with spider webs. It's like we need to put the meaning back into Christmas. So, Brother Andrew, we're going to unwrap for us and for all of our listeners what is behind the excitement for Christmas, because there is a palpable excitement. Anytime I see little like whatever pine trees, or you smell the pine, you get excited, like you feel like you're a kid again. What is behind that? Like, what would you think, Brother Andrew, is one of the reasons why people get so excited for December 25th? Happy holidays.
Yeah, well, thanks. It depends on who you're asking, right? So everybody comes from different family backgrounds. Everybody lives in a different part of the world. Some people aren't Christian. Some people are really Christian. Some people are, it just depends, right? For a lot of people who maybe some people don't have as much time off work, so Christmas is a really needed time of rest, right? And that's an awesome thing, and we need that. We're not made for work. Primarily, we're made for the Sabbath, as Jesus told us. So Christmas can be a healthy, break, right, from the normal routine, time to spend with your family. Those are all really good things, right? Even if hypothetically Jesus had never come, right, and there was a time just to rest and time to get our strength back, that's a good thing, right? But there's just so much more when you change from Happy Holidays to Merry Christmas. So much more. And we need to remember every year, like, why do we celebrate Christmas? Why is this the moment of the year the event of any human life that has generated the most amount of music, for example. I mean, just generally speaking, the theme of love has I mean, songs about love, there's tons of them, right? But if you go to a specific event, specific thing, Christmas is what has produced the most amount of music. And this is just some small example, right?
Yes.
Or even like recipes, you know. Why is that? What is it? What is the Big Bang whose effects we see in all of these trappings, right? What is it? We need to, you know, dive back. We need to, you don't really dive back into something. Maybe you somersault back into it. I don't know. You need to like, yeah, backflip into it. We need to like, you know, get that microscope, like, okay, we have all these little things, like all these loose ends or all this wrapping paper that's scattered around. You know, we have all the wrapping paper that's everywhere. Let's piece this back together, right? And see, okay, this gift has been unwrapped. We see all the bright colors. We see, you know, we hear all the, jingle bells, jingle all the way. We know you're hearing that, or ding dong merrily and high, da 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 da. That's another good one. Or hark how the bells, sweet silver bell. Like, where does all this spirit come from? It's got to have an origin, and so that's what we're after. That we need to figure out where does all this joy, this expectation, this peace, where does all of this come from? I don't know. What do you think, Brother Luke? I'm sure you're going to give us a surprising answer.
How's this for a surprise? Bishop Barron. So we always talk about Bishop Barron, so it's not a surprise. But there's a really cool podcast for all of y'all out there. It's almost 2 hours long, so I haven't finished it. But it's called the 4 Horsemen of Meaning or something like that. So Jordan,
I just started listening to that.
So the 4 Horsemen of Meaning, before discussing the meaning of Christmas, you have to discuss the meaning of meaning. So we're not going to do that, but it is interesting because one of the 4 horsemen, so it's Bishop Barron, Jordan Peterson, these 2 other guys, Joe and John or James, something like that. Sorry, no disrespect. I have to remember their names. But they were saying that this guy was talking to a friend of his in Australia. Australia is known as one of the, like, economically speaking and politically and all these things, like with its resources, it's one of the countries that's best off of, you know, in comparison to the rest of them in the world. And yet it's crazy, but there's more people that have died from suicide this last year than COVID in Australia. And like, so I said, okay, so everything the Enlightenment has promised us, you know, that would bring happiness, like a world, a government, or just like a country ruled without religion. It's, you know, contracts, and it's, you know, people agreeing on what's best for the economy and for business and all these things. Okay, well, I mean, Australia is maybe an example of like that perfect country according to Enlightenment, or it's on its way to being perfect. Why now are there more suicides than ever? And why is there why are there so many people that have the epidemic of loneliness, he called it, and things like that? So there is a need to find meaning in our lives. In Christmas, rather than being a time for us just to kind of live off the excitement, like the superficial, like live on this level, the surface of, oh, I love Christmas lights. Oh, I love Christmas carols. Oh, I love shopping. Now is the time to go deep, because we all have this need for meaning. And if not, we're not going to know where to turn, and we're going to be opening up an empty box. And there's going to be pieces of wrapping paper like around, and you might get a glimpse, you might get a taste or a sensation of, Christmas, God loves me, he became man. And so I'm going to throw out a couple ideas. Maybe we could talk about these. I don't know what other ones you have, but Andrew, I was thinking we all have a need for meaningful relationships, and Christmas brings people together. We all have a need for love, and the message of Christmas is God so loved the world, he gave his only son, he brings us, you know, becomes man. We all have need for, I don't know, I mean, just a break and a vacation and just like to relax, like you were saying. I think these are all ingredients of the excitement, of the Christmas jitters. We were trying to think of like a term to put all this, but anyways, unwrapping happy holidays, but like Christmas jitters, like we all have this excitement, and it does go deeper. Like, even if right now I'm thinking I'm excited just to be finished with this semester or with work, whatever it is, go deeper. Like, I would say one of those, maybe a couple of those things we could focus on. I don't know what you think.
Yeah. There's something that we can't get used to as Christians, that we can never just, rattle off. The fact that the Son of God became a human being. It's something we always repeat. We always know about this. Yeah, okay. But this was a huge thing, okay? And I'm not talking about, just for us as followers of Jesus. I'm talking about for other religions. So when Jesus became man, there were different religions at the time, right? The Jewish religion, right? Obviously the main one in his context, that never contemplated the fact that, God could become a human being. That's why it was so strange for Jesus to claim divine sonship, right? They thought of a Messiah as, a political Messiah, and, God was so transcendent, right? Even the high priest, there was only the high priest could go into the holiest part of Judaism, which was the temple, and once a year and could say his name, right? God was so high and transcendent, right? Or even other ancient pagan religions in which there was this expert in the gods or the goddesses, and you would go to the shaman or whoever, or the priestess or the pagan priest, whoever it was, and that person would sort of exercise this magical power over the world by invoking a god, right? And hopefully the god might answer, or hopefully the god might send rain if they heard us or if they cared, right? Or even the Greek and the pagan gods, right? Sometimes they would be at war with each other. But the fact that God becomes a human being was something so different. The fact that he becomes part of his creation. So imagine you're this little kid and you're playing with Tinker Toys in your room, depending on if you remember what those are, or Legos. Everybody knows what Legos are, right? We'll use that. So you're creating your Lego world, right? Or think of the Lego movie, everything is awesome. You think of your, and then you as a little kid, or whoever, you're adult, maybe you're doing it and you're playing, and you become part of that world, right? That's crazy. Why would you do that? Or there's so many examples, but we can't get used to that. I think what you said, we all have a need for meaningful relationships. Yes. And we all have a need for rest. Yes, absolutely. But the essential thing is the fact that the Son of God became a human being, right? We need to give pause to this idea and slow down and think about that.
Yeah. And so why, what is this need for a meaningful relationship? Or else another one comes to my mind is just, we all need to be saved. We all have a need for salvation. We all find ourselves in a difficult place and we're looking for someone to help us get out of it. All these things speak to us of a deeper purpose, while we're made for something more. So I'm excited to be with my family. I haven't seen them in a while. Okay. But now let's unwrap that. We're made for an eternal relationship. And good news is God wants that eternal relationship. Actually, same podcast episode. So Bishop Barron said, he was talking about the summum bonum. He always loves throwing out those Latin terms, obviously, because he's always quoting Thomas Aquinas left and right. But he's saying the amazing thing about Christianity is that, okay, all these philosophical traditions have led towards, okay, there has to be this one thing that's the best. That's the biggest, the greatest, the goodest, everything. And he says, now all of a sudden, this greatest thing is cares about me. It's what you were just saying. All of a sudden, this master builder wants to cares about this little piece of Lego or whatever it is. It's why would this person who could do God, this divine three persons, one God, who is completely happy on his own, who is so far is outside of space and time, the fact that he loves me, he loves his creation so much that he would suffer and die for his creation. He waits patiently for his creation. Imagine, Brother Andrew, you were saying, I hate happy holidays. Imagine God, how patient he is when he sees happy holidays. He's like, all right, thanks a lot. I just became man. And you're you're on your screensaver, happy holidays, or it's, you posted on the side of your gas station, happy holidays. It's really, people? What else could I do to just thanks a lot for just completely ignoring, salvation history, So I just saw the movie Dune. I don't know have you seen that, Brother Andrew?
I have not.
It's really get ready because not everyone likes it. It's like sci-fi and kind of slow. But the whole movie, like it speaks to you about this hunger for a Messiah. And so it's actually like maybe a good Advent movie for people to watch. It's nothing like doesn't talk about Christ, but it does say the word Messiah. And there's this whole like race of people that are awaiting, this figure. And like there's all these like little quotes here and there of like they start to piece together who it might be based on like, their ancient teachings or whatever. But yeah, there's a natural hunger that you can't deny, but you can't ignore it. And you can just live on a level where it's like, well, yeah, I never really come to terms or like become one with that deeper meaning. And so, yeah, you're going to maybe have happy holidays, but who wants happy holidays when you have a Mary? Like Mary is so much deeper and more meaningful than happy. And Christmas rather than just a holiday. So yeah, I think whatever your excitement might be for Christmas, do a Dunque. Like Dunque, why I'm excited about being with my family. Dunque, why I'm excited about unwrapping presents or giving presents. Because some people, actually, we're doing here with the boys, we're calling it Manos Vacías, empty hands, campaign to have the boys go out, ask their neighbors and family members to donate non-perishable items. And we're going to hand them out during missions, Christmas missions. So like these are things that are legitimately you can get excited about, but then even I should ask myself, and the boys hope we're trying to get them to ask themselves, why now? Like what's the big deal? Why is there such a joy in giving? Try to Dunque your Christmas, your Advent, people.
Absolutely. I think there's another beautiful idea. Catholicism, Christianity is a religion that's based on doctrine, right? On certain fundamental principles, right? God is a Trinity. Jesus became man. Jesus rose from the dead. He's going to come to judge the living and the dead at the end of time. So there are certain fundamental truths that Christianity teaches, right? Some other religions emphasize other aspects of life. For instance, like our brothers and sisters in the Mormon Church, right? They, from my experience with them, there is a big emphasis on ethical values, right, and family values, right? Maybe not so much they don't emphasize the doctrinal element as much as Catholics do, but they focus more on the ethical family values, living a good life, right? I have a cousin who's Mormon and her family, and I love them very much, right? So they're very, very good, upright people, right? And other religions have different, some focus on social aspects, others focus on experiential aspects like prayer, mystical, right? Not so much concerned about teachings. So anyways, the reason I'm explaining this is because there's a really important principle in the Christian faith, the Incarnation, right? So the fact that God became a human being, I mean, that's just so amazing, right? But what I'm getting at is that we have to embrace the Incarnation in our own lives. What does that mean? We have to give our flesh to God. That means we have to become, just like Jesus became a man and God was actually walking on the earth 2,000 years ago, in our own lives, we have to be God for other people in a sense. Not like we're like, I don't mean it in the way that like, we're, the almighty, all-powerful God, but we have to channel him to other people, right? And in a really deep and profound way. So that's why the Incarnation is important, not only because of our own salvation and like as if that weren't, important enough, but also so that we can be that for other people. We can help other people reach the Father's all tender, merciful love through us. We have to become, in a sense, Jesus for other people. So this is another reason why Christmas is so important. And these missions that you're doing with these kids, that's what that is. Non-perishable goods, bring them, okay, but that's really transcendent. That's saying to these other people, like, I'm doing this simple gesture because you have the same dignity as I do, and I care about you. I've never met you, but I want you to live in greater dignity. I want to share my love for you, you know? So Christmas is really important on so many levels, but one is because we have to become God incarnate too.
You made me think too of like, I wonder if there's some parents that might get anxious around Christmas time, or like boyfriends or girlfriends, because you don't want to blow it. It's like the opportunity to get your kid or your loved one like the perfect present, and you're nervous, maybe like, or they've asked for something and you can't afford it or whatever. And I just thought of something as Brother Andrew was saying, like to be God for someone else. That I think if you really want to make Christmas special for your child or whoever it might be, instead of worrying so much about the gift you want to give them, become the gift. Like try to become more like Christ this Christmas. And you're going to bring a real jolly merriness into your home, much more than
have a holly jolly Advent. Okay, people, we're in Advent. We're going to celebrate Advent, and then we're going to do Christmas. Okay, so go by phases.
It's the most strategic time of year. Exactly. So this is like time to like get out your notebooks and your pens and like come up with your strategy to become like Christ. You have 4 weeks. Basically 4 weeks of Advent ish. And then, the 4 candles on the wreath. Like as we light each of those candles on the wreath, like ask yourself, how do I become more like Christ in a certain aspect of my life? Like that could be a great Dune for all of us. Like I wanted my husband, my wife, my child, my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, to have the best Christmas this year. Okay. Well, then you become the gift. I know it sounds cliche possibly, but it could also inspire. Hopefully it does.
People will forget about the things that you gave them, right? Your kids, they'll be asking for gifts, whatever. But when they're 20 and 25 and 30 and 40 and 50, I forgot the gifts that my parents gave me, most of them, but I remember the time they gave me. I remember their patience. I remember my dad getting up early in the morning to go to New Orleans, driving really early in the morning, and when it was dark outside, to go and care for all of us. I mean, those are the things that I remember, and those are the things that I keep in my heart, and that give me a good example. So, I mean, a lot of us, we all know that materialism is bad, right? But instead of just avoiding bad things, we should, like you're saying, Deacon, we need to strive for what is good, what is holy, what is perfect, what is pleasing to God, which is becoming like his son. And so, we need to think, how can we become more like this person who's divine, who's coming to dwell among us? How can we become more like him? It's not something that's old or dry or boring. No, it's something that awakens the potentialities that we have in us in the deepest, profoundest way possible. I don't want to. You should talk. I could talk like this forever.
No, I was just thinking like the O Come Emmanuel. Like when you hear O come Emmanuel. Second line, but Andrew.
And ransom captive Israel.
When you hear that familiar tune, like O come Emmanuel, and ransom me, like me, I am the captive. Like think about it like in a very personal relationship sort of way, like not like O come Emmanuel, like entering this building or whatever, but like come Emmanuel into my heart. And it came to that. What was the gift that Christ gave us on Christmas? It wasn't a new toy. It was himself. So this Christmas, if we want to be more like Christ, give yourself. I think that could be a good conclusion to unwrapping. Happy holidays. But Andrew, do you have any quirky, motivational final words for our listeners that are jolly?
Quirky, motivational,
and jolly.
Quirky, motivational final words. Live Advent. Enjoy Advent. do something. I don't know. I know, Brother Luke, you're not in this line of thought. You can give your spiel. I'll let you have the last word. Okay, but live the rhythms of Advent, and don't hum. And this is going to sound maybe masochistic, but don't sing Christmas songs yet. Like wait until, I don't know, at least spend that, like at least 2 weeks of Advent without thinking of Christmas songs, and train yourself to desire, I want to celebrate Christmas. I want Jesus to come into my life. And me saying not yet makes your heart grow fonder. And so when that moment arrives and you're finally, belting out those tunes on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, your heart's you're going to be psychologically more prepared to embrace the joy that comes to you. So I would suggest embrace Advent, get into the rhythms, right? The silence, the darkness, right? As the sun goes down earlier, as things get colder, candles that we light up, the silence, the prayer, the Advent hymns, O come, Emmanuel, O come, divine Messiah. Embrace the little traditions that the church offers us that are so beautiful, and don't turn on your Christmas music yet, okay? But go ahead and say the contrary, Deacon.
No, but Andrew, I'm offended. Of course, I'm 100% in line with you. I think following Andrew's advice is always better than following mine. And here's a quote from St. Augustine about music in general, but I think you can apply it to Advent hymns from now until the 24th afternoon, and then 24th evening onwards. You can apply this to Christmas carols. But St. Augustine in the Breviary said, "So then, my brothers," I don't know how he said it like that, but he said, "Let us sing now."
Sorry.
"Then, my brothers, let us sing now, not in order to enjoy a life of leisure, but in order to lighten our labors. Sing, but continue your journey. Sing, but keep going." And then again at the end, he says, "Sing then, but keep going." What do I mean by keep going? Keep on making progress. This progress, however, must be in virtue. He said like 4 times in one paragraph, sing. And so all these like music, all these things should help us, hopefully not to have happy holidays, but have an extremely Merry Christmas. This is TGIF.
F.
God bless you all.
What was that?
TGIFF.
What was that?
Two brothers in Rome.
What was that?
TGIFF.
What was that?
It's a double F, not a singular F.
TGIFF Instagram is TGIFF.podsquad. Facebook, Instagram,
Internet.
all over.